All right. Hello, everyone, and good evening to you wherever you are. Good morning if you are outside the shore of Nigeria. My name is Leshi, Oluwatosin Leshi, and then I will be one of your anchor for this meeting. I have here with me my dear friends and colleagues. I call them 21st Century Nutritionists. So, and I have Tunu Gafar, I have Joyce Obi, I have Grace Agi, I have Shion Okedino, and Choma Doris. I also have Josephine Badijo with us. Then also we have Chinaza Uchi joining us at a later time. So we're going to get started now, and I will just hand over to Josephine to just take over from me now. Josephine, are you with us now? Okay. Yes, Josephine. All right.
Okay, hello everyone. I know I can't be the only one excited to be here. I hope everyone is excited with me. Okay, so I want to say welcome to everyone that is here today. Is going to be an amazing session. You know, we have a lot of professionals here with us today, and I hope all of you are as equally as excited as I am. If you are so excited, put it in the comment section. Let us know how excited you are. Okay, so not to waste too much of our time, I want to say, why are we here exactly? You know, we want to find out the secrets to being a 21st century nutritionist. We want to know the what and the how, you know. So before we even start, I want everybody to know that everyone should be on the Telegram group, because that's where our questions will be thrown. So be on the Telegram group so that you'll be able to ask these professionals any question you want. You know, all the questions you've been pondering on like for years. This is the time to ask them now. And also do well to subscribe to the NSN YouTube channel so that if they drop videos later on, you'll be able to see them. Okay, so I'm excited to start. I don't know about you, but I'm super, super excited to start. So I want to not waste time. We don't need to waste time. We need to do what you are here to do. So I want to be guests to come here and inform us, educate us, tell us the secret behind how did you get where you are today. You know. So um let's see, let me start with Tundun, right? I want to know, can you please introduce yourself? Can you please take us back? Can you please take us through a time machine and let us know who you were then as a student to how you got here now? Let's know your journey. You know, I want to have an idea of who 300 level Tundun was. I want to have an idea of how postgraduate Tundun was, right? So can you please introduce yourself and let us know who you are?
Thank you, Josephine. I mean, your energy level is very up there. But hello, everyone. My name is Olatudu Gafari. And yeah, I am currently a researcher at the School of Health Sciences, University of Southampton in the UK. But my first degree was from the University of Ibadan. And I studied human nutrition and dietetics. And Dr. Leshi was my lecturer back then. Talking about my journey, like you asked, Josephine, while I was in UI, I was involved in a number of things. I was involved in ANTS, which is the Association for Nutrition Science Students. I was involved in public speaking, and participated in a lot of jaw work competitions back then in University of Ibadan. And that is the Literary and Debating Society. And then after my bachelor's degree, I served in Lagos with Helen Keller International. After my NYC, I was retained and I continued on the Nutrition and Healthy Lifestyle project in Lagos. And then I came to the UK for my master's degree in public health nutrition. After that, I worked on a couple of projects here in the UK, but some of them had reached outside the UK as well. And now I'm currently in research at the university. I hope that was concise enough. and I was able to talk about some of the things you expected. Thank you.
All right. I think we lost Josephine. So maybe I should just call on Chioma to briefly introduce herself to us and tell us our own story.
Oh, good evening, everyone. My name is Choma Doris Nabugu. I am a senior policy associate. I work with Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition. So, I, as an undergraduate, I studied nutrition and dietetics at the University of Nigeria and Soka. And as a student, then I was clueless. Sorry, so I just did not know what I wanted. I was just interested in just passing my exams and getting out there. And whatever I meet, fine. So, but that changed when I did my internship at Jude's University Teaching Hospital, JUICE. I realized that I didn't really know much because the university system where I was then, or my environment, already programmed me in such a way that I just get to read and pass for my exams. So more like you cram, you pour, then you forget about everything. So that was it. But then at that particular point in time, I made up my mind that I was going to seek for knowledge. I can't call myself a professional, a nutritionist, but I don't have the basic principle. I don't know basic principles of nutrition. So I went for my master's in University of Ibadan, where I studied human nutrition. So while at it, the goal was to gain knowledge and understand. That was the only thing I was after. I just wanted to know and know and know. So the know and know and know has brought me this far as
All
a senior
right.
policy associate. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Doris, for sharing that with us.
Okay.
Maybe I should just call on Sheung to please tell us about our super story.
Okay, thank you again for having me on here. I feel very honored to be able to connect with young people. I always feel like I have a lot to learn from them. So, as introduced, I'm Shion. I currently work as an adolescent development specialist with UNICEF. My super story, as Tosin called it, I don't know how super it is, but it's quite a story, anyways. Um, Considering our time, I'm not going to bore you too long, but my story dates back to secondary school. I did go to ISI, the University of Ibadan Secondary School. I can't even remember the name of my school again. I'm so sorry.
How?
And while I was there, that's when I knew I wanted to study nutrition. Some call it fate, some call it I don't know. You know when you're transitioning from GSS 3 into SS1, and then you have to see a guidance counselor, and they're asking you, okay, are you good in sciences? Are you good in this? And they were pushing me towards medicine. No, I don't want to do medicine, even though I was gravitating towards having the grades for medicine. And then somebody asked me and said, oh, why don't you do dietetics? I asked her, what's it about, and all of that. And coincidentally, the next week, a group of students from the nutrition department in UI came and spoke to us on assembly. And they actually took us for a competition at the school where I think I won like a backpack or something like that for the school. So it was quite exciting to see people who were actually doing what I wanted to do. So fast forward going into uni to study nutrition. And I went to uni in my first degree was in England at the University of Nottingham. You know, when Nigerians go to university abroad, considering your parents are spending lots of money, you tend to go and do the typical African, you know, subjects like the admin, business administration, the law, the medicine, the engineering. Here's me doing nutrition. Everyone was telling my parents, how can you send your daughter abroad to do nutrition? is it to eat a banana and stay healthy? I can do that, you know. And there were too many comments like that. And it was so funny, but I was adamant and thankful to my parents, you know. And there's a sub message there, you know, parents trust your children, you know, and guide them and support them. So I'm happy I had that. So fast forward during my MPH in King's College, I was working in England for Plan International on something else, not nutrition. And I realized that a lot of the jobs that I was doing there, you did need, before you apply, they'll say, oh, you need experience in a developing country. And I'm like, what better country than my own, Nigeria? I have to go back. And so I got my first job on LinkedIn. So I would read research papers in nutrition. At that time, it was around vitamin A supplementation. And I read about a lot of people. I read about Dr. Motola. I read about Judy Adebisi. And from that, it was like a snowball effect. I sent emails to them, messages on LinkedIn, and surprisingly, they responded and they offered me my first position. And as they say, the rest is history. Now I work for the UN and I'm grateful, even though I am no longer doing core nutrition, but I'm integrating adolescent nutrition into the work I do now. So there you have it.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Josephine?
Okay, thank you so much for that. For telling us about you. You know, it's not an easy task. I would like to ask Grace to tell us more about herself, please. Let's get to know you more.
Hi everyone. Good to be here, and thanks to Dr. Leshu for the invite. Similar to Sheon, I got to know that I wanted nutrition at a very young age just by watching my mom. It's not super story, but that's the fact. And my dad, managing health conditions with nutrition, and I saw how effective that was in his treatment. So I just developed passion, and yeah, I took extra courses in secondary school thinking I needed that for my undergraduate. So I was doing like 10 subjects instead of 9. I did food and nutrition thinking it would help, but apparently it didn't. And yeah, I got to UI where I studied human nutrition and dietetics. And afterwards, and while I was an undergrad, just like to do, I did a lot of activities because I was just in the quest to equip myself just beyond academia, beyond just being a book person. I wanted to develop core skills. So I volunteered a lot. I remember volunteering for Benue NGO network during the floods, where I worked as an emergency nutritionist there in the IDP camp. And then I did some public speaking as well. And yeah, and I left there. I went for my NYC. I lectured partly in Enugu, physiology and biochemistry. And yeah, came back for my internship in Ibadan. So during my internship, I discovered that nutrition was a whole lot, like the core application to health and management was something I had very minimal idea about. I learned quite a lot there, but while I was there, I was like, okay, do I want to do health or do I want to go into public health? And I like policy as a person. I liked health policy. I partly did a master's in health policy and management, which I abandoned for a job in Abuja with the Nigerian Governors Forum as a program analyst. I worked there to help develop the nutrition scorecard for policy advocacy for Nigeria, and got the Commonwealth Share Scholarship that brought me to England for my master's in nutrition with public health management, which I just rounded up. And yeah, post that, I applied for the HCPC, got registered as a dietitian in the UK, and I'm currently working as a dietitian here in the UK. So that's kind of like my journey so far.
Thank you so much, Grace, for that insight on your experience, your journey. I want Joyce to go next. You know, our tech is in the building, so I want her to go next and tell us a little bit more about herself.
Yeah, thank you, Josephine. For me, nutrition was something I chose because I was told right from childhood that I should study medicine. And I know in my heart that I couldn't stand like going to the hospital, blood, all those kind of medicine-ish things. I know it's not my thing. So I was now flipping through this JAM syllable, trying to find a course that is between that is related to medicine that I can stand, and then that is how I came upon nutrition and went into it. But at the back of my mind was the knowledge that what I really want to do was computer science. So, but in nutrition, I really had the experience of my life right from year one all through final year. I was in different leadership positions that kind of prepared me for the job I'm doing now. Talk of communication skill, collaboration skill, those skills I learned them from my experience as a student in nutrition. I also learned how to approach people who are in a higher position. So, because I was relating with lecturers, acting as a kind of middleman between the lecturers and the students, I was able to have that confidence to enter offices even after I graduated. So right now, for the past 5 years, actually, I've been working as a software developer in various companies. I am currently working for a US-based company. But in the interesting thing about it is that all the places I've worked for so far has been remote employment. So and also the knowledge I gained from studying nutrition has helped me a lot to stay in shape because if you are working a kind of sedentary work and you don't know how to manage yourself, you can really get out of hand. So that is my story in a nutshell.
Thank you so much, Grace, for that. I can really relate a lot to a lot of what you were saying, you know, trying to figure out what to do and things like that. I really enjoyed your story and how you crossed and you still found your way back to the computer science. That's really interesting. I would like Mrs. Chinaduza to introduce herself and let us get to know you a bit more.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's so nice to be here. I feel happy and I don't want to take this platform for granted. My name is Chinadza Uche. Okay, when I was about to write jump, yes, that is my story. When I was about to write jump, I knew I had phobia for blood. I initially wanted to study medicine, but seeing that that will not work for me. If you have visited a hospital, you know that you can't run away from blood as a medical doctor. Just like the last speaker mentioned, I started looking for a course that will give me room to relate to people. I love to help. I love to help people out of issue at a den. So I was thinking of which course will I study? Then going through the JAMP brochure, I was able to see nutrition. I saw food and nutrition science. But when I read through the course description, I discovered that I may not really do well there. And I saw nutrition and dietetics. I said, this is close to medicine. And I opted for that. Fast forward to when I got admission, normal student, I was attending my class. I managed my time very well as an undergraduate. I knew when to be at lecture hall and when to read, when to do my assignments. But towards my final year, I was doing well in nutrition, but I did not really know what I was doing there, but I was passing my courses. So after my will I say, my final year, fast forward to NYSC, I will tell you that my career path started when I started serving. I served under Osun State Ministry of Health Nutrition Unit. I had a boss who was very hardworking and diligent in what he does. So I took time to study him. After studying my boss, I knew that if I was going to do well in this nutrition unit, I would have to be up and doing. That was how I started reading. I went back to my notes in the in my undergraduate, and I started understanding what they taught me because I was seeing it in the field. I attended a lot of programs. I did a lot of projects with him, and that work, that work, made me develop interest in nutrition. Then I now decided to go further by doing my masters. I did that with University of Ibadan. There, I discovered myself. I started enjoying my career path. I stay enjoying my career path, yes. Then I also got, while studying as a master's student, I did a lot of volunteer work. I volunteered for WHO, I volunteered for UNICEF and other smaller NGOs. And that made me so engrossed that I discovered I love to teach. I did a lot of teaching on complementary feeding and exclusive breastfeeding, where you do a lot of demonstration. That increased my interest in nutrition in the part of teaching. And here am I today. I've worked as an admin secretary, and I'm currently a lecturer with Michael Okpara Federal University of Agriculture. That's my story. Thank you. Over.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Chinaza, for letting us know how you got here. I realized that there's something going on with everyone here, and some two people were had the fear of blood. Some people thought it was medicine they will study. Different things. Not everyone knew they will study nutrition. Some people knew already before they even wrote jam that they will study nutrition, and I think that's really nice to know that a lot of us students can identify to those stories a lot. If you can identify to those stories, put it in the comment section, because I can totally identify with a lot of those stories. Thank you so much for letting us know you deeper than just your titles. Let's dive deeper. Let's go deep into the ocean. Let's get to know you more. So we want to know that why are we really here? We are here to know about 21st century nutritionists, right? So I want you guys to please tell me, who is a 21st century nutritionist. The reason I'm asking this is because you are all in different sectors, right? We have a researcher in the UK, we have a dietitian in the UK, we have a lecturer, we have a senior policy associate, and we have someone in software also. So I want to know, no, you all have different ways of seeing a 21st century nutritionist from different lens. So I want to kind of know who is a 21st century nutritionist to you as a researcher, to you as a dietitian. So I would like maybe Joyce to please start off, because we want to hear your own cycle. You kind of have a different point of view, I'm assuming, as you circled back to nutrition in the end. So want to please know, who is a 21st century nutritionist to you?
Thank you for the question. I think for me, based on where we are technologically today, I feel like analytical skill, having an analytical mindset is very important for a nutritionist to be able to sift through the various information that we see online today, which sadly most of the patients they are going to come in contact with must have fed themselves with. So you need to be able to analyze and sift those information and give accurate information and also I think there is a very high possibility now for you to work as a nutritionist with someone that is in another culture, another geographical location. So there is actually a very good reason for you to, as a nutritionist, work on your collaboration skills. How will you be able to take up a project with someone that is not in your culture, someone that doesn't speak your language? So you have to figure that out as a if you actually want to function well as a 21st century nutritionist. And also, I actually think that being tech savvy is not supposed to be for software developers. As a nutritionist, you have to learn how to make use of the tools available, and most of them are going to be become available in the few years from now. So how are you preparing yourself to learn those tools and be able to use them in your profession? That is going to is something that someone coming up should look into. Over to you, Josephine.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so Okay, thank you so much for that. Keyword, you need to be smart, you need to think outside the box. You should get ready for the tech coming up later on in the future. Thank you so much, Joyce. I would like to ask Grace, to you, you are a dietitian, you have experience in Nigeria, you have experience in the UK, you've touched a lot of fields. So I kind of see that you may have multiple lens to look at in a way. So to you, who is a 21st century nutritionist? Because I really want to know also, because I've had the privilege to like interview you before, and it was about your eating habit, and I was just like, okay, she practices what she how did they put it? She's practicing what she teaches, right? So I want to kind of know who is a 21st century nutritionist to you as a dietitian working, not just working in the UK.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. I think I have like some key things that I would like to touch on. One, a 21st century dietitian or nutritionist is ready. Readiness, preparedness is one for me. You have to be ready, you have to be sound. You have to have the competencies, the knowledge base. You need to absorb, learn, and evolve. Two, you have to also be consistent. Consistency is second for me. You have to show that you're ready to learn, you put in the work, you show forth your work, like your consistency has to be there. So I know that a lot of us have varied paths. Some people have delved into other careers and come back to nutrition, but you have to be consistent in your love, in your passion, and also in your delivery of service, your delivery of ideas and everything, and have a proven track record of it. Like show forth your work, be consistent in doing that. And the third thing is ever evolving. For me, as a 21st century nutritionist, you have to have the mind to adapt to change. You have to be dynamic. You're not static. And I bet to say that a lot of nutritionists and dietitians are very core and static to ideas. Like so many people have carried nutrition that they've known over 10 years ago or 50 years ago, and they are running with it. The field is an ever evolving field. There's so much research being churned out, so much new evidence is coming out. You have to also learn to adapt to that change. You must evolve. And just like Joyce had mentioned about technical competencies, is very key. I was very surprised to start working in dietetics, and I'm seeing that we're using so many softwares. So everything here is digital, is tech, is software. You have to be able to fit in. So train yourself to adapt to every change. The times are changing, the field is changing, life is evolving, and you have to be ready to evolve. And I think the final thing that I had noted down is courage. So courage and being evolutionary go hand in hand. Don't be afraid to take up opportunities. Have the courage to identify opportunities. Nutrition is going to evolve. You have to have foresight and then courage to prepare yourself to take up opportunities when the need arises. Identify these opportunities, identify the gaps, prepare yourself and be ready so that once opportunity comes, you're prepared to take it. And courage will make you take whatever opportunities come your way. So yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I really enjoyed, and I'm seeing the similarities in different lenses. Thank you so much. Will Choma please let us know from your own lens and from your own view who you think a 21st century nutritionist is?
Oh, thank you, Josephine. Okay, for me, a 21st century nutritionist is one that understands that the tide has changed. Before now, it's all about certifications, have bagging certification. But right now, it's not just about the certifications or the certificates. You should be able to bring value or add value to the organization you're interested in going to. Have a set of skill sets. Because if you don't have those skill sets, nobody will employ you. So also, that aside, knowing that the tide has changed, I also want to talk about being deliberate, making conscious effort. Before I got here, I realized that I didn't have experiences in some things. As such, there was no opportunity for me to build some capacities or have some skills for where I wanted. So what I did then was just to involve myself. I volunteered. I was available for different projects. I saw firstly I went to the job adverts and I for the kind of job I wish to um, do. I checked the job description and the skills and whatever they needed. So I realized that I had none of that. So what I did with during my masters and maybe 18 months after my masters was settling down. I told myself the truth. Doris, you don't know it. So it's high time we build experience for our CV, and not just building experience. We are also I'm also able to contribute with the skills I've gathered so far. So that aside, a 21st century nutritionist is also one who has excellent spirit. Like, you are reliable. Whatever thing you do is is exceptional. So you might think that you are wasting time doing this, but trust me, if only you can focus on whatever you are doing, because you have to be focused so that at the end of the day, it's not just about being experienced or writing in your CV that you are experiencing this. Task will come, things will come. Do you get when your boss assigns you duties, task for you to do, and in their mind you already have these skills? Nobody will do it for you. So you have to put up with that attitude of learning how to be excellent in everything you do. At the end of the day, let your work speak for you. So another thing I want to talk about is being it is first century nutritionist is one who is curious, who is willing to learn. Before coming here, because I have an idea that I needed communication skills, both oral and written communication skill. I need to have it, report writing, research, analytical skill, data analysis skill. I was very much prepared. But coming on this job, I realized that I'm going to be engaging more with stakeholders. So from time to time, I have stakeholders engagement. And when you go for such meetings and all that, you are not expected to go there and just say anything that comes to your mind. So right now, I've opened myself up to taking a course that will help me. I have to be very diplomatic in relating with them. So yes, you are building skills, but also know that things are changing. Wherever you find yourself, reflect and plan. What do I need in this particular place to help me achieve my aim or my goal there? So you have to be willing to learn. a 21st century nutritionist also is one that knows how to build network. So what are those places that you can easily build network? For example, NSN. So in my undergraduate days, the few times I attended conferences, NSN conferences were just to I just go there, I take fine pictures, I post, I tag, fine girl. But I missed everything. I missed some things. Because those times are not just yes, I'm not telling you not to take pictures. Take pictures. But much more than that, just recognize, build network, have people. Because believe you me, people come for, I know of some people that come there to hunt for people to employ. So when you don't put yourself out there, nobody is going to see you. When you don't build network, nobody is going to see you. When you don't attend those conferences, nobody will see you. And it was even in that conference that a friend of mine, one thing about those kind of platforms is that your thought process or your mindset gets to be refined. So it was from those kind of conferences that a friend of mine got an idea, have an idea of what she wanted to do for her PhD program. It was even in one of those conferences that I realized that so I can also win an award, the Young Investigator Award that NSN gives almost yearly. So I had to come back, and I prepared and I got my award. So more so, I know different people. I have friends. I build network. You cannot just do it all by yourself, and you don't need to burn any bridge. When you maintain your friend, I'm not telling you to go around and be harassing people for their cards, their contacts, and all that. I also did that, but it didn't work because when I got those contacts, I came home, I didn't follow up. So you have to build network. You have to be deliberate. You don't go around harassing people for numbers or their cards and all that. But you have the few people you are interested in, and once you build that kind of network, you or your relationship. So that's all for now. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Doris. Maybe I should just ask for insight from Chinaza. As a lecturer, who do you think a 21st century nutritionist is?
Thank you so much, Chioma. I really enjoyed that. And I understand when you were saying like
Okay, thank you, Dr. Leshi. First, I would say a person who is satisfied nutritionist can serve or can be called a 21st nutritionist. Someone who has positive attitude to work, not minding environmental factors or issues that may arise. Someone who is grounded in nutrition science, someone who has ability to interact. That's the let's say to network, just like Doris mentioned. You can't say you are a 21st century nutritionist without networking. You must be flexible. You must be someone that is sociable. A 21st century nutritionist is someone who has over time built his or her self-confidence. Now, self-confidence cannot be underestimated. If you know what you are, or if you know what you are, what you want people to call you, self-confidence helps you to accept both your weakness and your strengths in a lovable manner. Nobody is above mistake, yes, but some people, when they make mistakes, they go back to their shell. So if you want to be called a 21st century nutritionist, as a student, or will I say as a volunteer, you have to build your self-confidence. There's a place of you meeting people and you've lost your self-esteem. You don't know what to say again. So I I don't underestimate self-confidence. You have to build it because it has a big role to play. Another thing is it helps you upgrade yourself. When over time you've built your self-confidence, there's a place for upgrading because um, there are some skills that you will need as a nutritionist. And as we move on, as we go, things are changing, things are evolving. Those skills, if you don't have a flexible spirit, you won't be able to meet up. You will be stagnant. You I don't know. You will dwell on your past knowledge, and something you call you are dwelling on your past glory might be your case. There is a place for being intentional. There's a place for being intentional. A 21st century nutritionist should be one who is always online. Your being online is not just going through your social media platforms. No, there's a place for you to, your being online is a place for you to look out for opportunities where you can upgrade yourself through online courses, opportunities where you can upgrade yourself through reading about articles, reading about situation matters as related to the, let's say, to your nutrition interest. A 21st century nutritionist is one who is grounded in nutrition sciences. You can't say you're a nutritionist and you don't know what is happening. Over time, you have to be reading. You keep reading. Is one who is willing to read and one who is teachable. If you're not teachable, you won't go far. So the place of being teachable, the place of accepting your mistakes, understanding that you've made a mistake and getting up to start afresh cannot be neglected or should not be neglected if actually you want to be addressed as a 24th century nutritionist. Now, the place of knowing or having some skills, having some technical skills should not be underrated. You should know how to use both your Microsoft Word, your Excel, your PowerPoint presentation, and how to use your PowerPoint for presentations, and how to use some, let's say, virtual online apps. Now you know that most meetings are being held virtually, just like we are doing now. If you want to be a 21st century nutritionist, you must get yourself acquainted with all these apps. And another thing I want to mention is a 21st century nutritionist should have empathy. Yes, let's say, you have to listen to your clients with empathy. Yes, yes, with that, you understand what they want from you. The place of passion comes in, and you see yourself not only achieving or not only achieving or solving the person's problem, but also helping the country at large. Thank you. Over.
Thank you so much, Chinaza, for that. I don't think I can be the only one. A lot of people should be noticing the common similarities with what everyone has said so far. Someone has said tech. Some people have talked about consistency. Some people have talked about social media, and I hope everybody is noting this because I'm really enjoying it and I'm really learning. So I want could Tundu please tell us from her own perspective as a researcher, who does she think a 21st century nutritionist is?
Thank you very much, Josephine. I'll just keep this very short because, like you said, everybody has, touched on very important points. Um, but from my perspective, two very important things, which also relate to what Grace was saying earlier, was first of all being critical. A 21st century nutritionist needs to be critical, and that was one of the, I think, one of the biggest things I struggled with when I first moved to the UK. And from speaking, with other colleagues, that's also something that people usually struggle with from studying in Nigeria and then moving to one of the Western countries to continue education. You just need to be critical. We need to move past taking things at face value. There's a lot of research, like Grace was saying, coming up, and you need to evolve. But when you read all of those things, you read articles, you read blog posts, you go through social media, you go through research journals and things like that, you need to critically analyze all of the information you're getting. You need to think, okay, why is this before presenting it? Why is that before presenting it? And then this also ties with the second point, which is being solution oriented, because I mean, I know most people can relate to the fact that there are more people than there are jobs, and you just need to keep building your CV. You don't want to like sit back at home. Very, very good. You're applying for jobs and things like that. But while you're doing that, you need to identify projects, you need to identify problems and develop solutions on how to solve those projects or how to solve those problems. And depending on, I think somebody was talking about networks and collaborations and things like that. Depending on the networks you have, you can run a project, you can lead a project, even while you're out of a job, or even while you're on a job and you're trying to just, do more. Um, you just need to think of when problems arise, you need to think of solutions to solve those problems. Think of how you can play a part in solving that problem as a nutritionist. Basically, you're creating jobs and opportunities for yourself as well as for people coming behind you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tundu, for that. You said critical thinking, and I think that's also very, very important. And it's interesting to hear you talk about that because we hear that a lot, but you've given we've made us to think further into that direction. So I want to move on to Sheol. Could she tell us who is a 21st century nutritionist from her perspective as an adolescent development specialist?
Okay, thank you, Josephine. I think you've all said it really, really well. And it makes me feel really excited and privileged to be amongst very articulate, forward thinking speakers. So, well said. I think in the nutrition sector, rather, it's not a one trick pony. You must be open to being very versatile, as people have said. If you go on social media today, you have a lot of influencers who speak about food and nutrition. A lot of them don't even have, the qualifications, but they often, have a large following and tell people that that's an area. We need qualified nutritionists to tap in that area. You mentioned the tech space as well, the development of apps, the development of solutions that help in clinical nutrition, clinical sciences, and in teaching as well. I haven't ventured into clinical or academia. I work in program development, in global development, and I feel that I've contributed my quota. So these are other areas that you can also look at and discover that there is no one way to be in a 21st century nutritionist. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, show. I really appreciate. I will try to say we appreciate it because I'm learning so much, and I know I cannot be the only one learning so much from you guys. Thank you so much. I want everybody to note the similarities, the differences they've all given us because we are talking from different perspectives, different fields, different aspects of nutrition, And thank you so much for giving us a little insight on that. Critical thinking, determination, software skills, social media, and so many more. I hope everyone is writing this down. Okay, so I want to remind everyone also to ensure that you're on the Telegram group so that you can start asking your questions now. Because I know as they are talking, questions are developing in your mind. Okay, so I want to ask something important because I know a lot of people are probably thinking about it, right? So, can someone, any of the maybe Grace, could you please tell us the differences between like a nutritionist and a dietitian? Because I know some people as of 200 level, 300 level, they really don't know the distinct difference. So, if you could please let us know the differences.
Okay, thank you for that question. And I want to start by saying that I think the landscape of nutrition in Nigeria, nutrition science as a whole, either core nutrition or dietetics as it may be, has really not giving us like a full picture of the scope of the field, of how broad the space is, of the things that are achievable and attainable. And I feel like, personally, from my own experience, I was skewed towards nutrition because I had very minimal idea about what I could do, what I could be, who I could become, um, by practicing as a dietitian. So I was naturally tilted towards nutrition. And I want to say that the only major difference is the scope of practice. So dietetics covers, like, umbrellas, everything that nutritionists are supposed to do, plus you can work in clinical, because it's a legally protected field, so to speak, because you're dealing with acute cases. You need that protection in case you make a mistake. It's like you're working with lives, core lives management, but you can also do any other thing that nutritionists do. And then for that, you need an internship. 1 year, you need to be registered, take the exam, and all of that to be a dietitian. But nutritionists do any other thing, like policy, health, nutrition education, and every other thing in nutrition. Yeah, without needing to do an internship or being registered by law. So that's the major difference. But in terms of practice, you can do anything as a dietitian, plus clinical management. That's the major difference. And I also want to say one thing very importantly, that because of the conditions that we are faced in Africa, in Nigeria, more of the work around nutrition tends to fall in public health, nutrition generally. That there's more noise there, there's more work going on there, there's more funding there. But that's not the limit to what nutrition is. If you come to the global setting, outside in more developed countries, you see that clinical has a very big space, because more problems of overnutrition, diseases, and management are what you find here. So it depends on where you are, and yeah, you can be anything really.
Thank you so much, Grace, for that distinction, right? I hope a lot of
Please, I
us
want
are
to talk.
understanding
Don't
what they
make
are
noise.
saying. Let us know in the comments, let us know that you are following us, and because they are answering the questions because of us. Um, would Mrs. Chinaza want to at least give us another? Would Ms. Chinaza like to tell us the differences between a nutritionist and a dietitian in her own perspective?
Okay, thank you, Josephine. Okay, a nutritionist is someone who gives advice on what to eat to prevent diseases, while a dietitian is someone who identifies this disease and also is certified to treat the disease clinically. Another difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian is a nutritionist, you can see them in government parastatals. You can see they work with an NGO. They work with, they have their own, it can be will I say, self-developed company, but their main aim is to reach out to public health-related disease to prevent it from getting worse. While a dietitian focus, yes, you now have the disease and they are certified to treat you. I think that should be mobile enough for us to move. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Chinaza, for that. Um, let's I hope everyone has noted that. I hope everyone has noted. I hope you have with your paper and biro. So I want to move on to the next question. Let's go deeper, right? Why not? Let's go deeper. So my next question is, how can we acquire skills that will make us 21st century professionals? Because you've all told us like who is a 21st century nutrition, but how do you think we can acquire these skills? And I think I want to start with our software developer, because I know a lot of people, a lot of Nigerian students, they want to go into the tech industry. And then this lovely lady went from president of her nutrition society in her school and went and jumped into software developers to a software developer, right? So I want to ask her, for all the people and aspiring tech bros and tech sis in the house, can you please tell us how can we acquire skills that can make us a 21st century professional? Joyce.
Thank you, Josephine. I think one of the main things actually is having an interest. So if you go online, go to FAO websites and every nutrition related organization, you will see various softwares that they have there that is begging begging people to learn them and use them. I remember as an undergraduate, Mr. Charles introduced us to a few of these softwares, and we were able to use them to actually interact with people. I remember us going to field work then and trying to ask people questions, interview them, and enter it into this software. So there are a lot of software out there that a nutritionist should look at. You go and look out for them. Nobody is going to bring it to you. So you go look out for them. You try to see how you can use them in practice or even contribute to them. In fact, I feel like there are a lot of tools are available that are free of charge. That what the only thing you need is either a phone or a computer, and you are already using it. So try and go out of your comfort zone and try to access these tools, and see what you can do with them. Don't be afraid to break them or hack them. Just see what you can do with them. There are a lot of data science tools that is very relevant in nutrition that you can use. And again, it's just a matter of Google search and you are already using them. Also, I would say if you're still an undergraduate, do not be scared of taking up leadership positions. For me, as a shy person, those positions allowed me to grow confidence. So always look out for how to participate in activities that helps you build confidence, not just with your peers, but with people outside um, your say your class. You interact with others, and that will really come in handy when you are outside the school system.
Thank you so much, Joyce, for that. I hope everyone is listening and paying attention to the key details she mentioned. And if you notice, she says you can go to FAO website. I didn't even know that. So I think that's very interesting to know. Okay, so yeah, I hope all of us are enjoying this session. If you are enjoying this session, give us a thumbs up a bit, right? Okay, so I want to ask another speaker to tell us how can we acquire skills to become a 21st century nutritionist. We are asking now, So I would like to ask Seun, how can we acquire skills to become a 21st century nutritionist as the students we are?
I think Shane is having a network challenge. Maybe we should just perhaps ask Grace, to respond to that question.
Um, Thank you so much. For the skills part, there are so many different ways and opportunities out there that you can build your skills, both technical skills and soft skills, as it may. One of the core ways is through volunteering. So many people have mentioned volunteering, and to be honest, we can't overemphasize it. Volunteer. During volunteering, you can make your mistakes, you can learn from your mistakes. So look for do a self appraisal assessment and see the skills that you are interested in, and then you can look for opportunities that you can volunteer. Here there are some opportunities for shadowing. We don't call it that in Nigeria, but you can see a professional that you like the kind of work that they do, approach them, write to them, can I shadow you something? It's not like you are doing the work, you're just there to watch them do the work, see the kind of skills that they put into their daily work and practice. Take note of that. Take online courses, or just find opportunities to develop those skills. Now, in this internet age, there are many websites, there are many free courses out there that you can take to build your skills. And also through internships, intern free work. I would like to say that don't be scared to do free work as you're starting your career. A lot of us did like work for free just to gain skills. So take advantage of that. Many people hardly say no to free work. So take advantage of that. Work, gain the skills, and then leverage on those skills to get to where you want. So volunteering, internships, shadowing professionals, online courses for programming skills. Their online website, Coursera, their Google competency skills that you can learn online for free and all of that. So those are opportunities. And then through networking, you can also get other ideas from professionals that are currently practicing to see where they got their own skills and how you can also um, leverage on those platforms to get yours. Thank you.
All right. I think Josephine is having a network challenge. Of course, we understand that this is Nigeria, so we just have to keep moving on that. So maybe we should just get one or two insight from Tudun on this question. Tudun, over to you, please.
Thank you, Dr. Leshia, and thank you to all the other panelists that have answered. Again, everybody, I mean, mostly you've already touched on very important ways of building skills. But I'll just add to one of the things that was said. Um, which is basically strategic learning. So I know that I can't remember who was saying it, it's probably Shion earlier was saying, you know, we've moved on from gaining certifications and acquiring all of these certifications, and you just have like 100 certifications. It has no space in the CV eventually when you have to apply for jobs. So I think identify where you want to be, and LinkedIn or other platforms would be a good place for you to start. So identify somebody that you think, oh, this is who I want to be in, say, 5 years, and look at their profile, look at the things that they have done. And if there are things that perhaps they've gone through some training, they've taken some online courses, then you can take courses on those kind of things. But the very important thing I mentioned this earlier when I was speaking, was again being solution oriented. So I think Grace was talking about volunteering, doing free work, doing internships. But one of the things that stand you out, even when you go for all of those internships and volunteering work, is find problems that you can solve and develop a project solving that problem. And I think that was one of the things that helped me in my own career as well. So I remember I was in an internship, and it was a regular internship. I had this set of things to do. I could have just done those things. I would have been fine. I would have finished the internship, and that would be it. But identified a problem that needed to be solved and looked for a way to solve that problem by myself, gathered people together, and basically we created a project out of that. Years after, well, not years after, well, like months after, just that little project I did back then opened doors for me to get nominated for awards, get awarded in some categories. And that has even been, so some of the people I worked with in that project have even like recommended me for other opportunities. So yes, volunteer, yes, get into internships very, if possible. I mean, try your best to volunteer. Like Grace was saying, nobody rejects free work. So write to people, tell them I can do this. I know you're looking for somebody who can help you do this. I can do it. And you don't have to pay me. I'm basically looking to learn. And while you're there, look for a bigger problem beyond the one that you've entered with or entered for. Look for a bigger problem and try to solve it using your skill set. And basically you become an asset. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tundu, for that insight. That's a different perspective, and those are different ways we can acquire skills, right? Um, yeah, I noticed you said something about solving problem, like being a problem solver, not accumulating so many certificates, whereby you cannot even enter the CV. So thank you so much for that. I want to ask our senior policy associates, because that's the novel sector of nutrition, right? And I'm suspecting there are certain skills. You've already said some few of those skills in the past, but how do you think we could acquire these skills in these recent days?
Hi, Josephine. Thank you very much. I don't think there is anything new to say. Tudun has echoed my thoughts very well. So I reckon with what Tudun said is about for example, me, I go on LinkedIn, I search people that I love their work or would want to be their mentees. So from there, I pick up one or two skills. I go and take up a course, or maybe go to all these platforms that you can easily take up courses, maybe Udemy or Coursera, or you can even watch YouTube for and take up some courses there, help you build some skills. So at the end of the day, there are some courses you take up and you're not supposed to fold your arms and sit down. For example, data analysis. So when you take up that course and improve yourself on it, make sure you get somewhere else, maybe to volunteer. Usually, most lecturers open their arms for students to come and volunteer with them. So you are going to learn a lot. You offer your services for free, because when you get there, you grow more, you meet challenges, you grow more, and you will not forget what you have learned. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, Josephine.
Thank you so much, Chioma, for that. One thing you said is learning from lecturers, and I think that's also really important too. I think lecturers are like our professional friends in a way, because we can learn from them, and they're always there. And you said a lot. Actually, you said a lot, and I'm really enjoying, and that's from a different perspective. So I hope everyone is learning from this. Also, ensure you ask your questions on Telegram, because they are saying a lot of things, and I know that may bring out curiosity and like follow up questions. And don't forget to subscribe to the NSN YouTube channel, just because it's for your own good. Nobody else's. It's for you to learn more, and that's a key thing all the speakers have said. I want to ask this question. Um, I don't know. Is Sean back? But I want to get her perspective from like an international organization like UNICEF. I don't know.
No, she's not
Is she
back.
back on the call?
She's not back.
Okay, she's not back. That's fine. Okay. So I hope everyone is following. If you are following, give us a thumbs up. Let's know that we're flowing with you. Okay, so I want to kind of like, you know, dive deeper. So I want to kind of ask anyone, any of the speakers here can actually answer this question. I think this should be an open question. What can we do to become 21st century nutritionists? Because you've told us who a 21st century nutritionist is. You've told us how to acquire the skill. So what do you think we can do now? Because this ASU strike is taking a long time and we don't know when it's going to end. And a lot of us are tired of it. And even those in private universities, like everyone is just like, what's going on at the moment? So I want to ask any of the speakers can answer this. What do you think we can do right now, or what do you think NSN should take note of, like for the near future, to make us the next generation nutritionists?
Okay, let me say something on that. Thank you, Josephine. Okay, for all the students at home, is really not a nice one. Is appalling that we've been at home for the past getting to 7 months. One thing that helped me as a student, because we also experienced this kind of industrial action, I one thing that helped me was I did a lot of online courses. But then I didn't even know the importance of what I was doing. I was just doing the courses for doing sake. What I would advise you to do now is, if you have someone you're shadowing, or you have someone you like her, will I say, her research interest, go through her profile, read about her. Now, those skills she has that you don't have, go back, search for online courses. There are a lot of free online courses available for students. Search for them and try to do it while we trust the industrial action to end soon. Another thing I know I did as a student was I thought of nutrition related business. Yes, like then you have people that sell the Zobo drink, but then I made it in such a way that it's called nutritious Zobo, where you add where you fortify the Zobo with some other fruits that will make people want it more, unlike the ones available in the market. So think of something that can get you busy, something that will help you, business idea that will help you achieve your dreams, and also help you pursue your desired career path in nutrition. Another thing that I will also advise that you do is stay motivated. Don't be discouraged. Stay around people who speak positive things. Don't join people that say Nigeria will not get better, ASU strike will continue. No, this period is a period for you to build your self motivation and keep motivated. Another thing I will also say is, you go on nutrition society, some professional this thing societies. Read about them. They always upload things, especially the ASN. They upload things for students. Read their newsletters, read articles they publish. As you read this, I want to tell you that you will discover yourself better. It's not a period for you to sit down and begin to feel bad and begin to feel demoralized. It's a time for you to stand up and, will I say, equip yourself. It's a time for you to improve yourself. It's a time for you to upgrade yourself. Thank you. Over, Josephine.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Chinaza. Thank you so much for that. I love the fact that you said positive vibes, because it's really discouraging sometimes with what we hear in our society or what people say. And I think we all need to have a positive vibe in our life. um entrepreneurship, you said it. Some people like business, everybody wants to make money, right? I love the fact that you were able to tell us to connect nutrition with being an entrepreneur. So I think that's also really, really interesting. Thank you so, so much. Does any of the speakers want to add to what Mrs. Chinaza said?
Um, I was just, I mean, this thought just came. Thank you, Chinaza and Josephine, by the way. But this thought just came when Chinaza was speaking, and I just wanted to mention that even though you're striving to be a 21st century nutritionist, everybody needs rest and reflection. And sometimes we get carried away trying to get in so many training courses, so many volunteering opportunities. You know, you want to do all of everything. Literally, you're doing everything, and before you know, it leads to burnout. You just get tired, and you're taking all of those courses, but nothing is coming in. You're not assimilating anything. So while you're trying and striving to become better in, you know, your career as a nutritionist, take time to rest, and reflection is also very important. So when you do all of those courses, allow time, you know, to reflect on what you have learned. How has, you know, completing that course improved your knowledge, improved your skill set as a nutritionist? What do you know better after completing that course? Should you have taken the course in the first place? Should you not have? So yes, I was just going to mention that. Rest and reflect. Thank you.
I think we should also hear from Doris as well. Doris?
Oh, okay. Thank you to the thank you everyone. Okay. If you are like me, that likes stories, that loves telling story, and you've taken one or two courses, maybe on creative writing and all that, I think this is the opportunity for you to really use your skill online, have an online media presence, social media presence. If you're on LinkedIn is a very fantastic platform that anybody can reach out to you. You can tell the world what you are doing, your dreams and all that. So if you have been able to take up those courses and you are good with it, you don't even need to be very good with it. You can just start building content around nutrition. People don't really know anything. Yes, there are so many roadside dietitians and nutritionists, but if you can take up your time, read, it also help you so that your brain cells will not die as a result of the long strike. You get, so you keep building content and dishing out there, and it's not as if you are trying to impress anyone, in as much as maybe because there are some times you might not even get one reaction on your post, but just keep the energy high, keep dishing out content, keep writing, keep doing what makes you happy and all that. So I also want to talk about you right now. Yes, I know we've also talked a lot on taking up courses, acquiring skills, and all that. Just if you have an idea of what you want to be or the idea of your career niche, I just want to encourage you to focus there, because if you are today an entrepreneur, tomorrow a dietitian, tomorrow a public health nutritionist, tomorrow if you continue taking all those courses round and round, you will wear yourself out, and you will get a lot more confused than you were in the first place. I also want to encourage the 21st century students to also look out for opportunities. There are so many scholarships out there. You can use this opportunity of stay at home. Go to Google. There is nothing your the Google platform cannot answer. Maybe you can type nutrition opportunities for students, scholarship opportunities for nutrition students. You get, just look at it, right? Look at the requirements, just stand there, just explore, and you would see that maybe you would even get one scholarship to study anywhere and add value to your life. Thank you.
All right. Maybe I should just come in, just kind of add one or two points
Thank you
here.
so much, Chioma, for that.
Yeah.
Um, when she said something important, she said, go to Google and type in opportunities. She didn't say you should go and type in your favorite actor. You know, like I noticed that everything everyone is saying is that we have to be intentional.
Go ahead, Josephine. All right. I guess there's a kind of network delay there. So I will just quickly add one or two things, just in addition to what my friends have shared. I
Okay.
wrote two things
Okay.
down.
Sorry for the network issues. Okay, what I was saying is that I think it's lovely that we.
All right. So the first is that you need to discover yourself, discover your strength, know your weakness, and then recognize that. When you discover yourself, then you'll be able to know what to prioritize in your life journey as a student or as a fresh graduate. The other thing that apart from you discovering yourself is to be yourself. Don't put yourself under unnecessary pressure. Be yourself. Now that you have known yourself, you know your strength, you know your weaknesses, then be yourself. All right. And then also develop yourself. All right. So you know what you really want. You know the direction, you know the vision that you really want to aspire to becoming, and then you just have to develop yourself. You may need to go over, just as they have made mention of, do extra online courses. You may need to volunteer. You may need to do extra reading. All right, but don't warn yourself out. So please develop yourself and ultimately package yourself. All right, package yourself. Ma'am, there's a need for you to really build on that little thing that you think you know. Build on it and be proud of that you know. Don't let people talk you down that is that the only thing you can do. Yes, if that's the only thing you can do, then do it well, and make the whole world know that you can do it and you can do it well. So discover yourself, be yourself, develop yourself, and at the same time package yourself. Those things are very, very kind. One of the ways you can package yourself is what they talked about earlier, by making sure that you let the whole world know about what you're doing. Leverage on that. Use your social media platform to share your story so that the whole world will know that there's a potential, there's strength, there's skills that you have that everyone is looking for. All right, over to you, Josephine, for more questions, please. Okay, I think we have lost Josephine once again. So maybe I should just ask Tudun this question. Now, from what that you know, from everything that you have seen so far, being a student and now coming up as a working class fellow, what can you say? And of course, you have studied in Nigeria and you have also studied outside Nigeria. What can you say are the opportunity? Because one of the questions that's being asked on Telegram platform is, can somebody do internship in in Canada or outside Nigeria? I think I will throw that question first to Grace, then I'll come back to you, to respond to that. Grace, you're a practicing dietitian in the UK, and I believe you also did your internship in Nigeria as well. So a student is asking, can I do internship outside Nigeria? Can you tell us how we can navigate through that, please?
Yes, there are opportunities to intern, to shadow, to learn. It depends on the field. So I know that their dietetics practice here is very structured. You do like mini internships during the course of your program, and the master's in dietetics is usually 2 years. But if you're a current student in Nigeria, I think there are opportunities for you to write maybe to a trust or an organization of interest, indicating that you want to like volunteer. And there are some organizations that have like internship opportunities that they publicize. Like I know that UNICEF has internships, WHO has internships. They take in July and December. So you can apply to those kind of opportunities. And the WHO internship is usually for students or those that have finished within 6 months of graduating. They can apply. So there are so many opportunities that you can apply for out here. In dietetics, it might be a bit like if you are not currently studying dietetics, it might not be really open to you, but you can apply to shadow if you can fund yourself. So there are so many opportunities that you can leverage on. And the last thing is the scholarships. Please try your hands on scholarships. Try your hands on scholarships. Forget your grade. There are scholarships for any kind of person. So try your hands as well. So then go back to you.
Thank you. Sorry, is this my, should I go on now?
Yes, you can. You
Yeah,
can. You
yeah,
can
okay.
go ahead.
Thank you, Grace. Literally, Grace has said, I mean, there's nothing more to say. It's very possible to intern. I know in Nigeria,
Okay.
most times when we say
Um,
intern,
thank,
uh,
Go
yes,
ahead.
you can.
okay. Yes, I was just saying, I know in Nigeria, most times when we say internship, you're referring to like, that internship that you have to do at the hospital to become a registered dietitian. But there are other internship opportunities within dietetics, like Grace mentioned, and without. So in public health nutrition, in emergency nutrition and things like that. And you find those opportunities on the World Health Organization website, UNICEF, FAO, emergency nutrition, ENN. So some of those platforms, just I think it was Chinazada that was saying, go on Google, type nutrition opportunities for students, nutrition opportunities for recent graduates. The other thing, actually, I was also going to say, so beyond formal internship and volunteering opportunities, you can also reach out to people directly, and you don't have to travel to work with somebody. It still counts as experience, and it can still go a long way on your CV. Reach out to people. People might have, I mean, who are working in organizations abroad might have tasks that they are trying to get their hands, they are trying to wrap their heads around, and it's like taking too much of their time. You can reach out to people and say, I'm looking for opportunities to gain this particular skill. So, for example, to work with this particular software, or to skills in critical writing or skills in research writing. And I was wondering if you would, be able to coach me, you'll be able to mentor me, you'll be able to provide such opportunities for me. And that way you're working with somebody who is outside the country. Um, you have that experience of working with them. So it's not formal. You've not gotten a job, you've not gotten, a formal internship opportunity. But like Dr. Leslie was saying earlier, with packaging, you can package that into your CV as well, and it will count as valuable or worthwhile experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tundu, for that. Does Chioma have anything to add to that?
No, just fine.
Yeah, maybe I should just quickly ask Chioma this question. Josephine, permit me. Chioma, one of the questions that was asked by one of our
Okay.
team, one of our participants is, and I will read word for word. Please, my question here is: there are a lot of job opportunities out there, but looking at the requirements, it gets me pissed off in the sense that they will be asking 2 or 3 years working experience. One, who just finished school, how then will he be able to become a 21st century nutritionist? Chioma, I think you first take that up and everybody should just share their insight. Over to you.
Yeah, I really understand the the person that asked this question, because truly when I was in my masters I was also frustrated. I saw some of the jobs I was interested in told me 5 years experience, maybe 7 years experience. But how I maybe I just, okay, what I did was that I ignored all those 5 years, 7 years experience, and I focused more on building the skills that I saw that the so-called 5 years experience people should have. So when I was so sure that I have acquired those kind of experience and I've built this that kind of skills, then I went to my CV. See, your CV must tell good story of who you are. So I went to my CV and I updated my CV. I padded my CV very well, only highlighting what I know how to do. So with that, I went into the job market. Yes, in as much as I don't have 5 or 10 years experience, but those people looking at my skill set, the HR people looking at my skill set, I got some jobs. Yes. The job I did when I was in International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA, I got a job. I didn't have that number of years, but I had the skills that are required, that were stated there. And I got a job. So just focus on building your skills, and that's all. Just be very good at what you do, and you will see yourself. You will stand out there competing with people with 10 years experience or 15 years of experience. In quotes. Thank you. Over.
All right. Grace, what's your insight?
So I want to say that as much as those things are scary, I don't know why they still do it in Nigeria though. By law in some places, you shouldn't put number of years of experience needed, just highlight the skills. And that brings me to also trying your hands on opportunities. Even if you feel that you're not qualified for some jobs, still apply. And I'm saying this because so many things come to play when people are employing. Like you never can tell. Still apply. And the second thing I want to say is some of us have those experiences and you don't know. Like I remember the first major job I got with the NGF. I had never worked for pay before. Like I think the only experience I had then was with Impact Nutrition. I did a project with them, and then my Benue NGO volunteering at the IDP camp. And the way I sold those two experiences to them, they could not just but hire me for a very serious job. So volunteer but still keep applying. I know it's discouraging. And sometimes we judge ourselves too hardly. Like they're like, see everything they're asking for. I don't even have half. And you disqualify yourself even before the panel can even disqualify you. Please still apply. Many things play out in recruitment. It can be that they are looking for a specific gender and maybe you are the only female that applied and that is like your stronghold. It might be that they are looking for a diversity candidate and everybody that applied was white and you are the only maybe black. Like a lot of things play out in employment, in recruitment. So please don't disqualify yourself. Apply while you're applying, take advantage of, like I said, volunteering internship. It may sound cliche, but these things work. And by the time you put in the work, like Susan said, solve problems when you have don't volunteer and just hide and you're like, I was part of like define what you did. If possible, ask the people you are volunteering with to define your role for you, give it a title, give it a tag. You have already working for free. So you may as well, like you guys are using each other. They are using you, you are using them. So use them well. Like get everything you need that you can put on your CV and it will sell you out as a very solid candidate. So please don't run away or apply, like apply, keep applying. And another thing, sorry, final thing I would like to say is in job application process, you are also learning, you're also growing. So after you've done one application, you may see that the next one becomes easier. You may see that you are understanding what that market is requiring. And as you are doing that, it's a learning, it's a becoming process for you. So don't shy away from any application. Submit that application. Reflect on the feedback when you get a love letter. Think of, okay, what might have gone wrong? Where can I, like, it's just a growing process. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I would like if Chinaza could add to what has been said. Maybe you want to add a little bow on the top to what they've said so far. Okay.
You can go ahead, Josephine.
Okay. Okay. So I think she's having network issues.
And
I
should
okay.
be your first.
Is she
Thank you.
okay?
And I want to say well done to other speakers. To add to what they said, I
Oh, we have lost her. She's having network challenge. You can take over, Josephine.
Okay. I think y- yes. Just okay. I just want to add something, and because I'm currently a student, and I really appreciate everything everyone has said, and I realized that someone said something about just typing in scholarships and things like that, and something interesting happened to me also when this scholarship awareness comes out. They don't tend to put our courses there, but you see a lot of STEM courses, a lot of medical courses, and things like that. And I just want to let everyone to know that our course is within the health sector, is within the agric sector, is everywhere, and you shouldn't be discouraged not to apply for things, even if you don't see your course there. Um, Ensure you apply as long as you meet the other eligibility. I don't think the worst thing they can say is no, but it's not a sin to apply. And one of our speakers said something about Coursera. I don't think a lot of people know, but you can also ask for financial aid from online courses. You can just message them and tell them the situation, that you're a student, you can't afford it. And again, the worst thing they can say is no, but a lot of people do get them. And I just want everybody to know this, because I'm a student and I've kind of benefited from those avenues, and I think it's okay for other people to also know these little hints, right? um I think that's all from me. I just want to say thank you so much to the speakers. I Every single one of you have a busy schedule. I'm so aware of that, but you still dedicated time to come and talk to us. And I think I'm on behalf of every student. I want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. And I just want to say thank you. If you are watching this and you want to appreciate them, please give them a thumbs up. Let them know how much you appreciate it, because I don't really know where else we can really sit down and talk to Grace, or sit down and talk to Tunde, or sit down talk to Choma, Chinaza, and Joyce. Like, I just want to say thank you so much. I really truly appreciate it. And thank you. I want to hand over to Dr. Leshi if he has anything to say.
All right. Thank you very much, Josephine, for coordinating us. I sincerely appreciate, and I also want to say thank you very much to our dear guest for for provoking us to action. Sincerely, we cannot thank you enough. We cannot pay for your time, and we, in sincere terms, we say thank you. Before we go, I would really, really love if you can just give us your parting words. Just share your parting words with us, and then we call it a day. But in the meantime, there are quite a number of questions that have been asked on the Telegram platform that because of our time, we may not be able to attend to them. Definitely, we are going to attend to them on the Telegram. Secondly, some of the questions are beyond our scope. We may not have authority to speak over some questions, so we're going to bring in those experts to talk about those questions. For instance, the NSN officials to answer some questions with respect to some other issues that were being raised on the Telegram platform. Also, we would definitely meet again very soon. For instance, we are meeting tomorrow where we're going to roll out our plans and then activities for students in the next couple of months, in the next 1 year. We're going to roll out our plans of activity to you and share with you for you to know the engagement that the society is having for the student. One of such is how we will ensure that students at the point of graduation they become inducted to become a member of NSN ahead of the NSN conference. You don't have to wait till the NSN conference time before you can claim to become a member of NSN. So all those plans we're going to share them with you by tomorrow, by God's grace. And then before we call it a day, let me just call on each and every of our participants to share a parting words with us, a word of remarks as we close for today. I'm going to start with Tudun. Tudun, your closing remarks, please.
Yeah, thank you very much to all the other speakers. Thank you, Dr. Leshi. Thank you, Josephine. You've done a very good job. And I mean, considering you're a student, these are some of the things that other students needs to get involved with, and you're putting yourself out there. So well done. In terms of parting words, the major thing I would just say is I know, from the conversation today, we've said a lot about reaching out to people. But sometimes one of the things, we can go with that advice and just run with it, and then eventually leads to having this entitlement mentality. But you need to understand that these people that you're also going to reach out to are very busy, are going through life. Some of them are adulting, and adulting isn't easy. So be strategic in how you reach out. Make people want to remember you. So anytime, I think it was Choma Doris that was saying something about when you go for conferences and all, people, network, have collaborations, but make sure you say something, you write something when you write emails or when you send LinkedIn messages or Twitter messages, or I don't know how else, you plan to reach out. So make sure you say or write something that will make people remember you. And one of the easiest way is try to solve a problem. Look for something that they want and offer your service to help them. Because if you just send a random email, hello, please, I need a job, or I want to work with you, it's like, how, where? So just be very strategic in the way you reach out to people. But thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be here, to be speaking to you all today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Tudun. I think I'll call on Chioma to share our closing remarks with us. Chioma Doris.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Lesh. Thank you, Josephine. Thank you, my colleagues. Thank you, everyone, for being part of today's event. Um, okay, what I would love to end with is to encourage students that are clueless. When I started my undergraduate studies, I was very clueless. I didn't know the career niche. Should I focus? Should I be a teacher? Should I be a lecturer? Should I be a dietitian? Public health, nutrition. It was just so confusing then. So, and I didn't have any mentor, someone that would guide me in that path. So, I want to encourage students that if it's possible to get a mentor, fine, good and fine, get one that will help you, that will direct you very well, so that you will not make a lot of mistakes before you get to where you're going to. Also, I also want to encourage you, even if you don't have a mentor, just like someone like me, I didn't have. Uh, what I focused on doing was having doing what they call elimination method. It was time consuming. I tried being a teacher. I didn't feel it. I tried being a dietitian. And then but one good thing is that one day you will get that insight. You will know, you will just walk into it. It's just with time. I also want to encourage the students to not to forget to be deliberate in everything they are doing. Make sure you know your onions, because if you leave the school system, believe me, you are a professional. So you will see someone would wake up one day, oh, you're a nutritionist. Uh, should I be eating onions? Those kind of questions. And at that point, you will not tell her, wait, I'm coming, let me go and check the nutrition value or nutrition contents of onions and all that to know whether it's good for you and all that. So really know your onions very well, so that knowledge comes knowledge can give you power and authority and all that. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chairman, for that insight, for that inspiration once again. God bless you. I think I should just call on Chinaza, if you're there, um, so I can just share your closing remark with us. Okay, I think we've lost her. Grace, over to you.
Wow. Thank you so much, everyone. Doris, Tudun, Dr. Leshi, for the opportunity. And I want to leave by saying that um, I know it's overwhelming, everything you've heard today. I know it's overwhelming where you're at. We ask you if you're a student or if you're a professional that haven't really practiced and you're wondering, where do I start? How do I even begin? I know it can be overwhelming, and I'm just encouraging you not to give up. Keep trying, and do not be afraid or ashamed to be stupid or to look stupid, because sometimes it's in that stupidity, so to say, that you learn. Do not be afraid to ask questions if you don't know. Do not be afraid to say you do not know and then try to learn. And another thing, do not let anyone shame you into hiding. Be very proud of where you are at and be proud of where you are going. And there's no one size fits all in this practice. Don't say, oh, because I like this part, or I like, I personally, I've had a very diverse career within the nutrition field, and I can confidently say that almost everything is interlinked. And sometimes we only know based on our level of exposure and what we know from our environment. So don't limit yourself. Rather than staying idle because a path that you're interested in or you think is your passion haven't opened up, if there are opportunities elsewhere within the field, please don't hold back. Take it. While you are doing that, you'd understand better, you'd get a better perspective, and your passion or purpose might even change. So don't limit yourself to a particular area. It's okay to have a very diverse experience. In fact, it's much more desirable because you have more exposure, you have more ideas, and trust me, at the end of the day, everything sort of like connects. So yeah, that's all I want to say. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Grace, for that words of encouragement. And it's giving hope again, I believe. Chinaza, Mrs. Uche, what's your parting words with us this evening? Oh, I think we've lost her again. Okay. Josephine, I think, okay, yes, she's back. Go ahead, Chinaza.
They've already spoken my mind last Peter, but I would say stay motivated, be motivated. Okay, I would say stay motivated, be motivated. Let your mindset be I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, Mrs. Finaza is a nursing mother, so that's why we have that. So I pick our words: be motivated and stay motivated. Be motivated and stay motivated. Against all odds, stay motivated. I think I should also get one or two insights from Josephine. Your closing remarks, Josephine.
Okay. I really, really enjoyed this session. I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I learned that there are so many ways we can go through this nutrition sector, and there are so many lenses we can look at. And yes, it's true. As even as a student, there are a lot of discouraging things. When you are sitting among your peers, or you're in the society, and they don't even understand the word nutrition is. But like one of the major motivations one of our speakers said is having good friends, and I think that is very important to me, and I think every student should take note of that. Try and have good friends, and you too also be a good friend and give positive vibes to everyone. I really enjoyed this session. I learned a lot. I really learned a lot, and I want to say thank you to everyone for taking their time from their busy schedule to make us understand that nutrition or our future is beyond the three figures of CGPA, right? So thank you so much for that.
All right. Thank you so much, Josephine, and sincerely appreciate you for your time and for your commitment. And then I will also give you my own closing remarks. All right. I think I will just use a code, DRQ, DRQ, that is D and then three R's. The first D is don't disqualify yourself. All right, don't disqualify yourself in any way whatsoever. Whatsoever your result status is, don't disqualify yourself in any way. Don't feel that you cannot be competent. Don't feel that you cannot acquire those skills. Don't feel that you cannot apply for the job. Don't feel, just like they have made mention, what if you are the only applicant for the job? Right? Don't disqualify yourself. In as long as you are interested in such a job, please go for it. In as long as you are interested in that field, please go for it. Don't disqualify yourself. The second is R. Relate well. Relate well, communicate well, relate well with your peers, relate well with your senior ones, well with your junior ones. There are opportunities that people that have gone far ahead of me actually brought to my attention. At the same time, there were opportunities that people that were actually behind me actually brought to my attention. Why? Because I've been able to relate with them well to a large extent. So please relate well. Then the next point is remain connected. Don't reach out to people when you need their help. All right. Try as much as possible, remain connected to them irrespective of anything. Just remain connected, stay in touch with them, and then make sure that you are not doing that because you are expecting something from them, but do that because of the relationship that you have been able to establish with them. And lastly, always reach out. To become a 21st century nutritionist, one of the key words there is to reach out. Reach out in whatsoever way. All right. Make sure that you leverage on the internet to get whatsoever skills and competencies that you need to get online through personal development. Make sure that you reach out to people that are doing it, all right, in form of volunteering. Tell them that you really want to volunteer with them. Tell them that you want to serve so that you're able to acquire the skill. Always reach out physically, reach out virtually, and make sure that every opportunity that comes your way, you're able to explore them. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. The last almost 2 hours now has been so great. I mean, it's so influential. I mean, you have been able to influence me positively. You have also been able to influence others positively based on your inside friends. I really, really appreciate you guys. And I know that when we call on you again, definitely you'll be available to reach out to us. And I also know, to you, our great audience, that you are going to go back to this broadcast and listen to some of those insights that they have been able to share with us today, and then relate to today and say that, oh, it was an event, it was that meeting that I had, it was this video that I watched on YouTube or whatever channel that made me to decide to stay focused, to stay committed, and remain as a relevant and 21st century nutritionist. So I really, really appreciate everyone. I want to quickly announce to you that series of activities are going to be in place in the next couple of months. Please watch out. I want you to join our Telegram platform for more engagement, for more opportunity that we'll be sharing on the platform, and also more real-time answers to your questions. More real-time answers to your questions. There are quite a number of things that are being that we're about to roll out from the nutrition side of Nigeria, and we really, really want you to be fully aware about them. And then also all your questions definitely will be responded to. We should meet tomorrow where we share some of our plans for the next 1 year with you. All right. And then I'm also sure that you will enjoy having this type of conversation in the next couple of weeks or days. For instance, one of the one key one that I think we most likely might quickly do is how to optimize your online presence. How to optimize your online presence might be a program that we're going to put together very soon, shortly. I mean, in less than 2 weeks. We'll try our best to put that together so that you guys be able to know how you're able to sell yourself, how to be able to package yourself and sell yourself to the entire world. You are not just bound by being in Nigeria, you are bound by being a global citizen. Wherever you are, you should be able to relate and connect and then act effectively. Thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you guys for being my guest today, or our guest today. And I'm sure we're going to make reference to this day in the nearest future. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye for now. Bye, everyone.